All right, we're gonna try this again. Radio check, radio check, radio check. Trying this again. Radio check, radio check. There we go, radio check. Radio check. All right, look, we should be good. All right. Well, sorry about all that. We're gonna get back at it. Hopefully we didn't lose all of our devoted and loyal fans, of which there are about 3. All right, still having some technical issues on the GoPro. I don't know if it's a signal issue. I think that time it might have been some kind of a signal issue. So just have to work through it. If we get disconnected, I'll try to get it back up as quick as I can. None of this stuff likes the heat at all. I'd turn around and make a shallow pass over this area. I was just working. There's a little, I think I can see some grass out there. We're gonna let's see what happens. All right. Looks like it's just me and myself right now, so we just fish free. And I'll just talk to myself for a bit. Maybe we can make something happen with this little top water. That would be nice. I would much prefer that over the brush hog, but if we have to go back to that, we will. Looks like there's a little pile of grass right back in there. Maybe it comes up high enough where something will be hanging out there and come blast this bad boy. Got some grass coming way out. Alright, I just want to take a look right here and see if there's anything out here worth checking out. There's one little point that I can see. Now we're gonna make a little shallow pass and just hit on the edges of all this stuff. Maybe we can get one come out and blast us. This is the way I like to fish. I like to fish the shallow stuff. What's up, FNC? We're doing a little shallow top water, and then we'll do a little maybe some brush hog in the grass in a little bit. Right now I'm just trying to, you know, the water temperature is only 92, so it's not that bad. Perfect topwater conditions. Not a cloud in the sky, 92-degree water. That's what we're looking for. I just want to see if it can be done by me. Ooh, I cast over a bunch of stuff. A lot of juicy looking grass in here. Maybe there'll be a couple of juicy looking bass blow up on my bait. High spot is some pondweed. Pondweed is in my opinion on this lake, it's one of the highest overlooked aquatic vegetations. And this year we had a little bit of a drought, so it didn't do like it normally does. It didn't come up. There's some deeper pondweed this year that may be good, but usually you get some shallow stuff that holds up. Whew, that's nice. 70 degrees in Oregon's nice. What's up, Don? I'll take 70s. I know I lived in Washington State for a year, and I had never had to buy waders to fish until I lived up there. All that mountain runoff is cold, but I guess that's how you'll have all those good salmon and steelhead and trout fishing. What I thought was interesting is that the trout fishing was really good because nobody really even bothered with trout. They all wanted to catch the salmon. That's a good cast right out in the front of this. There's some matted pondweed there, and then where it kind of comes off, it's I'll catch one right there. We were fishing tournament one evening, one of these little dog fights, and we were right out in front of where I'm sitting. And this was when Bank Shaw was probably 15, 16 years old, and he had a little Sea Arc boat, and he pulled right up in here and he was casting out. And man, they wore some fish out. I don't know what those fish were holding on or how they found them that way, but they wore some fish out, man. I'm pretty sure they won that one. But they caught some nice 4 and 5 pound fish doing that evening. And I looked at my buddy and I said, well, I guess we're fishing for second. I don't remember if we placed at all that night. Set this down for just a second, and I would be remiss in my bassin duties if I don't pitch this frog over some of this matted up pondweed and just see, oh, something's biting the shit out of me. A horsefly biting me. So that's the night I got my butt kicked by Bank Shaw when I was working at the marina across the lake over there. He caught a 13-pounder in it when he was like 10 years old. Caught it flipping a jig. That's what he used to do when he was a kid. We used to see him. He would go into these, in Tennessee, you can't operate an outboard without being a certain age, I guess. I think you have to be 16. And so their parents, him and this other, I don't know who the kid was that he fished with, but they had a little aluminum boat with a trolling motor. And they would, I don't know if they would put in at Harrison Bay or where they would put in, but they would go between Harrison Bay and Island Cove Marina and flip docks. God almighty, what is up with these flies? They would go in and flip all the docks all the time, and they'd be in there bouncing around on that boat. You'd see them pushing off of get in close, pitch in there, and kind of push off of a boat. It's interesting. It's interesting the way people learn where they get their experience from, and that's where he got some of his experience from, was just him and his buddy fishing around the lake. Ooh, yeah, Florida gets hot too. My buddy lives down there, and he doesn't even want to go fishing half the time because it's too hot for him. Got some really good looking grass right through here. I'm trying. You know, not every day is about catching. Sometimes I just like to try stuff. I just like to prove to myself that I can catch one doing something weird. Sometimes it doesn't work. This will pay off this evening, but I think it's a little bit early for it. Man alive, I think them flies are bothering me, man. Got some really good looking milfoil right through here. Toughest time of the year right now. August, September are tough. I usually like October though, especially where I God almighty, man. What is up? I'm gonna have to take a ride just to get away from these flies that are attacking me for some shit. This is where I should have wore pants. Forgot about the bug factor. Trying to make one react to this thing, but not happening. Sometimes fishing's tough. Of course, I haven't done much moving around. It's kind of fishing the same little stretch, just back and forth. At 30 minutes. I'll go somewhere and catch fish next. Well, where I can hopefully catch fish next. Sun's too bright. What we got going on? I don't know how deep they are. I'm fishing in I'm in 7 feet right now. Got a lot of good grass. I mean, I can see it. It's trying to come up. I started out a little bit deeper. I was kind of out. The boat was sitting in 12-foot range, and I was fishing this grass that's underneath me right now. But I'm just coming out. See if something. There's a big boat coming through, I guess. I don't know where that boat, that is a serious weight coming through here right now. I don't know where it came from. Just till it gets done, I'm not fishing a popper because I don't ever catch any fish when a boat weight goes by on a popper. Never. I don't like to use the word never, but this is one situation where it is true for me. A lot of times this boat traffic will help your grass fishing. I think it stirs some stuff up, kind of stirs up a little silt. And it'll fire them up sometimes. I've seen a lot of times where that's happened. And some of these guys have heard me talk about driving the boat over them before we start fishing, and that's an absolutely true story. We used to do that. Set the boat down, come off plane right on top of where you're going to fish, and then when you get to the other side, just turn around, fire a cast, catch fish. There's some amazingly good looking grass out here. Very, very good looking stuff. What blows my mind is how this was all a completely different kind of grass a few years ago, and now it's all something else. I think it was all coontail and a little bit of hydrilla, and now it's milfoil. Like, I don't know how that stuff goes in cycles like that, but I guess it does. All right, we got a little bit of calm going on, so we'll make a few more casts with this top bar, and then we're gonna move. All right, one more. We're going that way with it, and then we're out. One more never means one more. All right, put some stuff down. Just kind of clean things up a little bit. That's what I'm gonna use when I get to where I'm going. We're just going right around the corner, so it won't take but a second. No fish yet, David. Yeah, Florida lakes. Florida has absolutely destroyed all of their fresh water and a lot of their inshore stuff because of the way they spray those lakes and release all that nitrogen and all those phosphates and everything. It's really a shame. I know there's the one place I've heard about that has kind of said no to that is Crystal River, and supposedly I haven't been over there. Well, I haven't seen it. I went over there this year, but I didn't see a whole lot of grass. But supposedly there's a whole bunch of seagrass coming back, and it's supposed to be a real success story. Hopefully, it will be a blueprint that other areas can try to adopt to improve their water quality and their fisheries. But they probably won't, because everybody wants their golf courses, and they don't want coontails on the edge of their lakes. They want to be able to walk all the way to their lakes. Oh yeah, I completely understand. It's a ridiculous thing. They don't seem to understand that they don't seem to understand that correlation. But you know, these guys, I think a lot of these homeowners don't really even care. They just want to be able to have they just want to be able to put their boat in the water and do whatever they're going to do. Had 2 or 3 hits right here the other day, so maybe we can put a hook in one of them. The water looks like it might be lower than it was the other day too. I don't know. Either lower or all the grass is growing just a little bit more. Either way, hopefully we can do a little sleighing. Had 3 bites over here the other day, and the one I got in was about 2.5. So this is one everybody fishes over there because that's where the grass comes up first. This is kind of a little sneaky spot that kind of gets overlooked because it grows up a little bit later and it's a little bit deeper usually. At least it's not 100 degrees, it's been so hot. I know when I went down to Gunnersville on Saturday, man, I was in bad shape. I got home, I was down for the count. We got a hold of some grass. Let's see what we got down there. Milfoil. No surprise. Kind of throw it out there and just let it sink. Let it kind of fall straight if you can. And just kind of hop it through that stuff. See what happens. Felt like a piece of grass and then it took off on me. But we had a bite. One bite. One bite, 0 fish. Let's try it again. A lot of times I'll throw back in and catch them if I don't get a backlash first. Okay. My mind is on these flies. That's the problem. Keep feeling them. Oh man, let's see what we got. takes so long to fish an area like this when you're using soft plastic, but you're gonna get some bites. If I can find something that's faster, I'll normally fish something faster, but I like to get back to my roots sometimes and fish some stuff that's worked in the past. I also like a little tube. I'll fish it. I haven't done very much of that yet this year, but one year I put the brush hog down. All I fished was a tube, and I did pretty good with it. Just a little Texas rig with a 3/16 ounce slip singer, and went to town on them in this grass. And you pop it up. It's a little bit hard to feel them hit it though. A lot of times this heavier weight makes it a little bit easier to feel the fish sometimes. This is a 5/16 versus the 3/16 that I was using on the other one. And I was using a lighter line that had a little bit more stretch. I was using 15, this is 20. Funny, these fish hit completely different than a garnishful fish. Garnishful fish, I think there's just more fish and they're more competitive. These fish just seem like they just nibble at the bait. Those fish, you got a thunk. When a fish hits, you know it's a fish. But what I noticed the other day is in between those two islands, there's a bunch of good shallow grass growing, and there was a good edge. So I'm kind of excited to fish that because I've done well there in the I'm turning myself down. I've done well there in the past, and if you can get it dialed in, you can usually catch some fish right through there. I'm just fishing some stuff I know. I could go around and search out some new stuff. Used to be some really good grass, and there's some stuff floating coming up way out here. I'm sitting in 12 feet of water. Used to be some real good grass in Harrison Bay. I don't know what the grass situation looks like in there at all right now. It's probably been sprayed and dead. I know they do that in Chester Frost, which is across the lake. That's where they run all the tournaments out of, and it would probably be an amazing fishery in there if they just left the grass alone. It gets restocked every week. Just a nice night to be out here. I've never fished Parksville, Don. I have fished Appalachia and Hiawassee, and I really like both of those lakes. Parksville I don't care for as much because I don't think they draw the water down in it. I like lakes where they draw the water down and you kind of hems up the fish a little bit. And there's almost no boat traffic on. There's basically zero boat traffic on Appalachia, and then Hiawassee is basically zero too. I went down there. It was 4th of July weekend. I don't remember what day 4th of July was on, but it was might have been on 4th of July, but it was like a Saturday. It might have been a Sunday, I don't remember, but either way, I went down there and I fished. I didn't see a boat till 11 a.m., which I thought was absolutely amazing. And then after that, there were a bunch of boats out in the river, like in the main lake, but most of them didn't go up in the backs of any of those bigger creeks. And that's a really, really healthy fishery too. A lot of bait. In the fall, you get really, really awesome topwater bite on school and spotted bass. For me, it's just a lot of fun. You can catch a striper every now and then. Appalachia, I caught the biggest brown trout I've ever caught. It was 22 inches, weighed right at 5 pounds, and that was right below the dam. And then I caught a couple of good smallmouth down there too. It's supposed to be a really good smallmouth fishery. I am not a very good smallmouth fisherman. Don't really know the best way to fish for smallmouth. I catch them in rivers and stuff, but lake smallmouth, I don't really know. And that lake, I don't think there's a topo map of that lake anywhere. So it's a little bit tough to fish just because it doesn't have a topo map. So I like the spotted bass lakes though. That's where I grew up, was on Weiss down in Alabama on the Coosa River. That's where I basically learned how to bass fish. Yeah, this isn't playing right here. No action. But those rivers that lead into the Coosa, the Etowah, and the Oostanala, really, really good rivers. They're shallow. You can fish them with a kayak or a small, like a jet boat or something. I always fished them in a little 14-foot John boat. But they're a lot of fun. I've had time, if you learn how to fish them, they're real fun. You can find some fish in some places and they'll stay there for a long time. Had a little creek mouth one year. I'd go in there and catch 30 or 40 bass out of it on a crankbait. It was just crazy. And some of them were big too, like 3.5, 4 pound spots. And thankfully, not a whole lot of people talk about it, but I'll talk about it for a little bit, since we're not really in that region. But I like them. I like fishing for spotted bass. I've never really learned how to fish smallmouth because I just am not around. I mean, I know there's big fish. I know there's big smallmouth in the Tennessee River and places, but I've just never learned to fish for them. Biggest smallmouth I've ever caught is only 412. Finally got a bite. Finally got a bite. Feels like a decent fish. Hadn't seen it yet. He's all right. Good little chunk. Yeah. All right. Finally got a bite. There we go. Little 2.5 pounder or so. Right where I thought he'd be. I got another one? No. I'm just drifting. Boat's drifting off. I think they've got a big meeting. Have you heard about that meeting tonight, Don? They're talking about trying to restore some of the bass. I think what they're going to be talking about is grass spraying habits and restocking programs in Chickamauga. Have you heard about that at all? It's supposed to be a meeting tonight. All right, Tennessee River, if I get down that way, I'll definitely give you a shout. I've heard Pickwick's an awesome smallmouth lake. I know it used to be. I haven't heard much about it lately, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the bass news these days. I don't know what kind of turnout they're going to have on that meeting, but hopefully they're able to get a good voice on it. Get a good turnout and get a little support. The city of Chattanooga has done an absolutely horrible job protecting their resource here, as far as I'm concerned. The amount of spraying they allow happening. Oh yeah, there's my jam. They haven't done it, as far as I know. The stocking programs are pretty much over with in here, and if you're putting in those Florida H1s or whatever, I don't even know what they're called anymore, but you've got like 1 or 2 years of natural, or 1 or 2 breeds of natural breeding, and then the next one is sterile or something like that. So there really needs to be a northern strain restocking program and a Florida restocking program if they want to. At least that's what I think. They want to get these bass numbers back up, and it absolutely can happen. It's happening at Nickajack, and I don't know about Watts Bar. For some reason, I don't think Watts Bar is coming on like it should. But Nickajack's absolutely in good shape for that. Oh no. I don't know how you catch any fish down below Watts Bar Dam. Like I've never figured it out. I can catch stripers, and I catch a few largemouth over there. And every now and then I'll hit a smallmouth in the head just going down the bank. But besides just bank running, I've never figured it out. Everything just seems like it's pretty clean. I know there's a few little rock piles out in the middle that look like they ought to do good, but I've never been able to figure it out, or at least make it work. Now I have caught some good stripers up there in the spring though. My biggest was about 28 pounds this year. I think it was 27 and a half. And then I had another one over 20. I've got the stripers. I mean, you just have to, you got to be there on the right days for that though. You got to kind of pick and choose. You got to kind of see what generators are going to be running, and I like to fish there in the evenings after all the guides go away, because those guides, all they do is just go up and down, and it just, what I do is I kind of find a seam, and I kind of spot lock in that seam and let my bait drift with the current and get it down to a specific depth. And then I'm using Alabama rigs, but it's a real, where that, throw it up there and let it drift, and where that bowl coming out of that dam, where it starts to come up, that's where the fish usually hold, and when it starts to sweep across that, that's when you get your bites. That's my technique. Don't steal it. Alright, we're going to move on. I'm going to try to line up this new grass line that's over here, see what we can do. I'm not real worried about it till we get up. Just kind of do a little, throw it out there and crank while I'm probing. Ooh, I bet that was fun. I've never caught a 40 pounder, I don't think. I've caught some 30s. Was it right below the dam when they were feeding on shad, like when the shad were all balled up and the gulls were everywhere? That's when we got our biggest fish. There were gulls everywhere, and you see these just balls of shad just rolling around in the current, and you see the fish come up and spawning and busting on shad. But you got to hit it just right when that kind of stuff happens. I don't know how to time those days, and that's a 60-mile drive one way for me, so I can't just get off work and go up there. Got a plan. My goodness, we got some thick stuff. I think we got our bait. Yeah, this bait's about shot. Just about shot. One little patch way on out here, feels like. Nope, gorilla snot. Snotting. We got a good wind for fishing this spot. I always like it when it's coming through this little cut. feeling the grass right there. Yeah, I'd like to see a fish that big hit a topwater. I bet that was cool. I don't think I've ever caught one that big. I don't know. I don't know if I ever caught anything. Well, I did catch a 5-foot shark one time on a topwater bait. That was kind of strange. But other than that, I've never caught anything that big on topwater. That was the weirdest bite I've ever seen, too. All right. Just kind of ripping this, see if there's anything. There's some grass a little further out there, and then it kind of gets mossy on me. But and then I see some more grass underneath where I'm sitting. So let's see if there's any in between. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of in between. Ah, okay. That's the key, is the fog. Fog, and they gotta be hitting those right. Gotta be hitting those right generators, I guess. Or is it better with no generators for topwater? I've never even thought about trying the topwater over there for a striper. That's just outside of my realm of comprehension right now. But I'll keep it in mind. Keep it in mind for next year. Do you catch them up there all year long? The only time I've never really fished up there any other time other than like late March, early April is when I go up there. There's some stuff way on out here. I'm gonna fan cast right here for just a second, and then I'm gonna move in shallow and continue my game plan. There's a little something. If I can find just a little bit of grass right here in this place, I believe I'll get a bite. A good spot to a bass is a good spot to a bass. They don't know, you know, year after year stuff will. Okay. That's the, I guess they're feeding on those trout up there, huh? Ooh. I've heard good things about the Hiawassee up near Reliance too, but I've not tried that. Guy I used to fish tournaments with, he said his brother guides for him with live trout on the Hiawassee, and they used to catch some big ones. Just kind of picking this up and swimming it just to kind of see, probe around, see what I can feel. I do that sometimes when I'm just trying to look around, see if I can find something that might not know about. Sun's bright. All right. All right, we're gonna move in a little closer. There is some grass down there, but I wasn't really feeling it. Yeah, you catching those big boys. All right, where's my grass edge? Pick up the popper for a few minutes. Mix it up. You mean for stripers or just in general? Figured once that water finally started going up, they probably went crazy going up in there, trying to get up there and spawn as quick as they could, or they were easier to catch because the water was low. All right. Should be a couple of topwater fish through here somewhere. Ooh, if I can keep myself from getting backlashed. Man, I'm not doing good on that today. I'm throwing right in the wind though with a little bit of light bait. Tighten her down just a touch. We got grass. We gotta be ready to pull one out if we get a bite. My goodness. Whew. When are you getting your riser baits in, Don? Couple of days. Oh, water's cooling off. We're down to 91. There'll be some fish in here, man. They're probably all into the heavy stuff right now, as they often do in August, September. Well, I just suck tonight, don't I? Yeah, the 007 is the best size for a schooling fish. The only thing, they come with little bitty tiny trebles on them, and they'll catch fish, but they just feel like they're a little bit too small for me. So I go up, I think they come with like number 10s, and I bump them up to an 8. But I think the bait actually works better with the 10s on it. It's a little bit more erratic. That's something fun to try anyway, especially when they start schooling. If you've got that thing on when they start schooling, you'll catch some fish on it. Oh, that was a bad cast. You get gorilla snot on your bait when you're fishing the surface, but I just did it. Go in here and mess around with a frog for just a second. This thing's starting to get a little, this grass starting to get a little shadow on it. Put it in the old why not. The rock poles? What is the rock pole? Are you talking about? Or between the rock. What are rock poles? I feel like an idiot. Some good looking matted out milfoil there, and then we got some pondweed coming along. All this stuff has some, this is what's funny is that I feel like most of these fish probably stayed a little deeper this year after the spawn because the water stayed low longer. But we have really, really good looking grass this year. Not a lot of it, but we've got some good looking stuff. Not seeing any topwater activity to really make me stick it out in here, but make a few casts, just kind of feel around, see what kind of opportunities are out there. Oh, a couple more months we'll be back in good fishing times. Oh yeah. I think these fish are going to get absolutely pounded shallow when that water goes down this fall. No worries. All right. All right, I'm gonna scooch us on down a little ways here. We're just gonna go down this bank, pitching this thing around, looking at the grass, admiring all this fishless grass that we have. That stuff right there looks good. You got pondweed, and then you got a nice layer of milfoil right in front of it, all laid over. Just my bait's upside down, but that's all right. And true to form, I got a little too close. Oh yeah, there's stuff right out. Oh, good stuff all out in front too. There's some good looking stuff all out in here. It's gonna be a shallow frog heaven in a couple of months. Maybe sooner. Ooh. I'm going blind with that sun in my face. I'm gonna kick it up, get on down here. Put that down, pick our brush hog back up. Kind of swim it through here, see if we pick up anything. And we'll get over on the other side. That's where there's some juice. There he is there. Oh, I had one hit it. He still got it? Didn't feel like it. Had a little bite swimming it. It's a nice night out here. Got a good breeze. Got it basically to ourselves and can't catch a fish. I got no excuses other than I just suck. That's how it goes though. We got a little grass line off the edge of this saddle. Not quite up to it yet. I caught one off of it the other day. Didn't amount to much, but it was time for a new bait. My hook's not staying in there. Get one out. Usually when you put a new bait on, you catch a fish. don't know if there's anything to that or if it's just you feel better because you got a new one on. Okay. Ooh, see a good looking patch right there. Good looking patch. All right. I'll get down to business. We got some bait fish flowing around in here too. Looks of it, a whole bunch of bait fish. And this is my serious look. When I'm in an area where I believe there's some fish, I'm gonna put my serious look on and do a little extra probing. Pretty good drop off right here. I think we're probably casting in 4 or 5 feet of water and it drops off into 15. The grass doesn't come all the way out, it kind of stays up shallow, but it's just a deep little hole right next to this saddling. Seems to be a good place to hold some fish sometimes. Make another cast off to this side and then we'll start working that way. I'm giving it a fair shot. Have you? Yes. There's some good stuff out here. I don't like. Ooh, we're just all in some mess. Problem is for me, I fish a lot of history because I don't when I fish this lake, which these days is not very much just because I'm tired of it, but I fish a lot of history and I've caught fish all over the place. Back when the lake was good, so I always have like, oh, I caught one here. Like it's hard to get that out of your head sometimes and figure out the next. The next place where they're actually at, not somewhere where you think they ought to be at. That's the problem I always have with this lake, is I'm like, well, they ought to be right here. A lot of times that you know, and it's just not the way, it's not as good as it was, so it just feels like a lot of times you know, you can catch one fish where you used to be able to catch 10. That's my problem. I'm only catching one fish or no fish where I used to catch 10. Matter of fact, I'm about to go try something else in a place where I used to catch fish. After I get done with this little area. Ooh, there went something. Oh man, I just had something pop it. You might still have it. Nope. Something just felt like a gar bite. Ooh, whatever it was, it knocked my hook out. Ooh. Couldn't ask for a better night wind-wise. Getting some good wind. Almost a good cast. Bunch of deep Deep pondweed growing right there. No bites. Deep pondweed, no bites. Oh, where are the fish? Where are the fish? There's some shallow pondweed. Oh, top water time. What's going on here? There we go. Top water time for a second. Not putting on much of a show tonight. Maybe this will be one of those nights where not much happens and then you nail a huge one right at the end of the evening. That would be sweet. Not gonna hold my breath. The day I saw one bust right in between that pondweed and the little island, so gonna make my obligatory cast right there. de nada. We got some pretty deep pondweed coming off of this point right here. We got a little rock pile. It is a point. It's there's a big rock pile, and then there's just normal rocks that come off of it. It's a pretty good place for there to be a good fish. Some of that pondweed's growing way out there. We'll see if maybe we got some other grass growing down there with it. Now maybe it's not as deep where it is, deep as I thought. Sitting at about 6 right now, but it's going to drop off here in just a second. I'll throw out on the edge of that stuff, and maybe there's some other grass growing through there. Maybe there's some big girls sitting on the edge. I get stirred up when this boat goes by. Hope springs eternal. At least we got a little shade for a minute. Maybe that'll yeah. I've heard that about fishing here. It's just, and I think they, I know they stocked all those fish to make those big girls and make this place like world famous and everything. But man, I just wonder what it does to the gene pool of the natives. I mean, I know there's spotted bass in here now, and there's and then I know this. I think from what I've heard, the smallmouth are taking a hit because of the spotted bass. They're kind of crowding them out, and then if you don't have all the northern strain, then you don't have anything to breed with. So I don't know. Used to be nothing to come right in here and catch 20 or 30. For me, anyway. Not so much the case these days. Ooh, I need to pull out just a little bit. Feel so much grass, you just feel like at some point you got to run into something. I guess it's just so many places, so many more places for them to hide. Definitely a slow evening. It's making it tough for me to get out here where I feel like I need to be. All right. Move out just a little bit deeper. There we go. We got some milfoil. I got schooled right here one time in Mayor June with a jig. My cousin was with me. He was basically doing the same thing I'm doing right now, just pitching it out and just hopping along, and he caught 4 or 5 nice fish doing that. I'm not having the same results. I think I'm still in a little bit. I think I'm still in a little close. Oh, we got a little hydrilla down there. A little something different. Oh yeah, you can definitely catch fish flipping the spinnerbait now. Just, you can move fast too through an area, especially if you got some dingy water. Just pitch a little boat like this, you can get in close to those targets and just boom, boom, boom. I mean, ooh, that's a good, man, this grass looks good even out here, man. I don't know what you do when that's the problem with grass. I don't really know what to do when everything looks good. Everywhere you go looks good, so you just gotta. What kind of butt? We got some mats right here in front of me. Looks like there's a little channel going through them, so I'm work this big popper around it, see if I can get anything to blow up. Man, there's just good looking grass everywhere. It's got good depth, it's got good holes. Nice if there were some bass to go with it. Do this on Gunnersville for an hour, you're gonna get some bites. Not so much here. I'm gonna kind of let my boat drift through the middle of this little channel between these grass mats. And then we'll come back around and we'll cross over and we'll try the other stuff I wanted to try this evening. It's amazing how different two lakes on the same river system can be sometimes. Not quite as sparse as I thought it was going to be. Frog time. Frog. Nope, that's not the frog. That's the frog. Got a mix of hydrilla, milfoil. See a little bit of coontail trying to pop out in here. Oh, I'm just not feeling it, man. I know when I'm not feeling it, and today I am not feeling it. I'm getting the fishing Chickamauga in August blues. Been there before. That's some good looking, man, there's good looking stuff in here. Got holes in it, not seeing any bait fish though. Not seeing anything, no brown. Where's all the life? I mean, you got good aisles all in all this stuff. There's lots of space for there to be something, and there's nothing. Where's the little popper? Well, can't see half that stuff. Oh man. Nothing. Pitiful day. Pitiful evening on the water for me. Crossing over. There's my hat and my phone. I've been trying to use my hat to keep my phone from getting too hot. I think we're okay now. Oh, I missed him. Oh, he had it and I missed him. Finally got a bite. Just as the sun's setting beneath the horizon, couldn't execute. Ooh. I got that one. What have I got? What have I got? A little old bass. Yeah. Yeah, finally got one. About the same size as that last one, maybe a little smaller. All right, we got two. There he is. See if we can do another one. That one tore my bait all up. Well, we'll try for one more cast here. He hit it right. I guess he basically hit it when it was sinking, because when I reeled up, I felt something weird. I never did really feel the fish. I just kind of noticed it felt off. No, there's a big patch of grass right there I didn't see. That's where he was at. I see it now. Oof. Oh, little. Trying to finish off strong this evening. It's been tough. Don't know where any fish are. Got a good wind though. Feels good. There he is. Took off with my rod. All right, got another one. Hey, all right. Picking up a little bit. That's 3 on the, there's another one. That's 4. That one doesn't feel like he's got much size to him, because he doesn't. But another bite. Got on a little flurry here, a little flurry. We'll put my new bait on. This one's pretty well ripped. Now we're getting some bites. Just bouncing this little brush hog over some grass. Ooh, where those waves come from? My gosh. Got some big ones. All right, where was that last one at? He was right out in there somewhere. Maybe we'll get another bite. Get a couple of bites real quick like that. I'll make a few more casts into that little area. See if we got a little school hanging out in there or something. Come on now. Casting in the wind. Why? Well, I had a little small flurry there, and that kind of slowed down a little bit, but got a little bit more left to fish. See some more stuff kind of matted right here. I didn't see it until just now, but wouldn't have made such a long cast. Be some fish hanging around in that. we'll get this brush hog about maybe 5 or 10 more minutes, and then we're going to go back to the top water and see if we can mop up around the same little area a little shallower. May not even go that much longer. I might pick it up here in just a few minutes. Seems like there might be a little bit more of an edge over here than there was over there. It's kind of, as is often the case with milfoil, it just kind of peters out. It doesn't really have a good solid edge like some of this stuff does. Half moon going on out there. Got some frogs a chirping. There we go. Had a bite. No idea why I missed him. Just didn't get him, I guess. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, Tuesday night's the best night of the week, Don. No boat traffic hardly, man. You want to come out here and just fish? I mean, this is a high volume area, and it's nice, and I mean, the weather's perfect, especially now that the sun's gone down. You got probably 5 mile an hour breeze. It's cooling down a little bit. You got some stinking fish that want to bite and not hang on. Alright, I'm about to put this down. Once I get another bite here in a few minutes, I'm gonna put it down here and start doing the old end of the evening topwater bite, especially now that this wind is dying down a little bit. It ought to get turned up. I'm not entirely sure that last one wasn't a gar, but I am seeing some rolling around out here. All right, let's see if we can finally do it. Let's see if we can finally catch one on a topwater. So I had a few bites here the other morning on this, and then there's a grass mat over there. I had some bites on with the frog. So see if we can repeat history in the evening. Other morning, some of those fish, I mean, they were up there. I saw one of them dart from 10 or 12 feet away coming after that thing. There are some fish in here that will hit this. Or it should hit it anyway. About to need to put my lights on. Topwater fish, man. I'll be one or two that come up and pop this thing. They don't even have to get it. I just want to know they're there. Go ahead and get my lights put up before Don yells at me. He will too. We'll be needing them here shortly. Alright, there's that one. Let's get my front one up. I'm being good. There we go. We're ready. Got no excuses. Let them see us coming. Go up here to this milfoil mat where I know there's some fish. I'm going to use a little bit bigger bait because it's getting dark. Alright, we'll give this mat a few minutes and then it's probably going to be time to hit the road. There's fish here in the morning. There's no reason there shouldn't be fish here in the evening. That's my take. No bites. Kind of stinks. Pop my way out. Oh, no. I got all in my rope. Okay. I'm gonna try to pop my way out of here. There he is. All right, we got one. Look. All right. Finally a topwater fish. Not the biggest fish of the day, but I'm happy to catch one on the topwater. All right. Ta-da! Can be done. And on the big popper too. There's another one. All right. Can't tell if that's a decent fish or if he's just got me in some grass. He's not a monster. Kind of hooked on the side. Hey. Little. Ooh, a little nice little right before dark topwater bite. That's what I do, right before dark. And then after dark, I can't catch fish. I am the worst night fisherman there is. Guess all the night guys must be coming out now. I'm hearing some boats. All right, well, I got about one more cast in me and that's it. Unless I get a great big one. And that cast doesn't count because I messed up. Got right on something I shouldn't have. Try that again. All right, there we go. Maybe one more cast. I see something else I want to cast towards. Alrighty, that's it for me. Well, it's been real fun. Didn't catch very many fish, but I was just happy to be out here. It's always good to be able to get out here during the week when there's not a whole lot of shenanigans going on. We don't like shenanigans. I don't know if I put out a short from this weekend. I don't know if anybody watched it, but there were some shenanigans that came my way this weekend. It was a little bit of rudeness, but that's okay, you know. It's gonna happen. All right. I got myself a chicken sandwich for the ride. Oh. Let's head back to the dock. well, it's the end of the road. I appreciate everybody coming out and watching today. Y'all have a good evening.